Morning, good morning. If you're tuning in live with us here at 7:25 a.m., good morning to you. Today is Wednesday, June the 12th, 2024. We have What to Know Wednesday as our annual segment for today. If you're watching the replay, whether it be in the afternoon, the evening, or near the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for tuning in, no matter what time of day, and supporting News in Motion. This is your first time tuning into News in Motion. News in Motion is a news media outlet with relevant commentary and call to actions. If you have any questions about what News in Motion is, how long we've been around, you can ask us in the chat, or you can email us at newsinmotion with Gail at gmail.com. We will put that up on the screen, and we will also put that up in the chat as well. We can be found on LinkedIn, YouTube, or any audio or podcast platforms. To our audio and podcast listeners, thank you for turning those dials to NIM today. Make sure that you are keeping your eyes on that road. If you are stationary and you have a chance to talk with us, let us know how you are doing today on this hump day, this wonderful Wednesday, the middle of the week. Let us know how your week is going so far, and if you are ready for What to Know Wednesday. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Invite a few friends. Tell them that you're watching News in Motion as we get ready for What to Know Wednesday. So, before we get started, a few shout outs to our viewers. Good morning, Miss Adrian. Good morning, Miss Deborah Johnson. Good morning, Miss Shirley Nicholson. Good morning, Miss Marion Jackson. Good morning, Miss Regina Shorts. Good morning, Miss Shardinia. Good morning to my father, Mr. Fred Jones. And good morning, Miss Donita, all tuning in through the tubes of you. So if you're ready for What's It on Wednesday, stick around and we'll be right back after this brief intro.
News in Motion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. Good morning. Before I go anywhere else, Isaiah, that was amazing. That was perfect. I just love seeing your growth over the past couple of years. That was outstanding. So thank you for all you do, Isaiah. I see you, Kim Edmondson, popping up in here. Good morning to you. And he gave a shout out to everyone else. Shirley Nicholson, Kim Edmondson. I think y'all need to reply back to my email so y'all can have y'all's your 1 hour session with me that you won. So make sure you do that, because remember, I'm going on break. Y'all not gonna be able to find me. All right, y'all. Let's jump in. I am your host, Gail Dudley. For those of you who are just tuning in to see what we're all about. Many people have been DMing me saying, how do we find you? Where are you? So the word is getting out that we are a different kind of news, and we're going into our 4th year, which we are so excited. Also, thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who gave on yesterday. I see you, Virgie. Come on up in here, sis. Who gave yesterday? As we're celebrating our 4th year anniversary next Thursday. And don't worry if you didn't get an opportunity to give. Here's another opportunity. You'll hear about it again tomorrow. You'll hear about it all next week as well. The advisory team said to me, can we just encourage people to give $4, just $4 to celebrate the 4 years so that we can continue the work that we're doing and add some more to what we're doing. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. I see you, Rosanna Bivens. So you all can do that. You can go to the CashApp, which is NIMtoday, to send in your $4. And if you want to send more, you can. So again, thank you for all of those who gave one yesterday. Actually, that was the first time that we had like 90% of our viewers respond. These are the viewers, not the audio podcast, the viewers. So we were really excited about that, to see that, wow, we have the support. I see you, Latrice Jones, coming up in here, Dr. Antoinette. So yes, just go to our Cash App, $4 or more. Latrice Jones says $4.44. You can do that too. You can do that too. And if you do not, now she said $44.44. Um, yes, Donita, you can do Zelle. Send me a inbox and I'll send you the Zelle information. So if you want to do Zelle, just inbox me. If you have my phone number, if you have my phone number, it's my phone number. If you have the actual phone number, not the 441 number, the other number. If you have my personal cell phone number, it's that number. If not, I will make sure you have that. Just inbox me and I will get that to you. So thank you, 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 thank you. All right, y'all. There were two different statements from the President of the United States on yesterday. The first statement, and Dr. Antoinette, I need you to type in here what this is looking like. The first statement says reopening of the Port of Baltimore. He says in a statement from the White House, I made clear that my administration would move heaven and earth to reopen the Port of Baltimore, one of our nation's largest shipping hubs. Yet today, this was yesterday, today, thanks to the tireless, oh, I'm sorry, this is today. This is June 12th, excuse me. Today, thanks to the tireless work of men and women in a unified command, the full navigation channel is now open to all vessel traffic, allowing a full return of commerce to the Port of Baltimore. So he talks about our hearts remain with families of the victims of the bridge collapse, and we will continue to stand with the community throughout this period of recovery. Thank you to the people of Baltimore for showing us what it means to be Maryland tough and Baltimore strong. Baltimore can count on us to stick with them every step of the way, and we will continue to have your back until the bridge is rebuilt. So the Port of Baltimore is open as per the White House, but the bridge has not been rebuilt. So Dr. Internet, you feel free to type anything. Yes, Shirley Nicholson, I did see that. Thank you. Feel free to, Dr. Internet, to type anything in there that you want to add about that. Dr. Internet says it's opening for shipping, but it will take years for a bridge for cars, etc. So you have that. You have that. Thank you so much for adding to that. The other statement that came out of the president's cabinet yesterday from his desk, statement from President Joe Biden, and this is a direct statement and quote. As I said last week, I am the president, but I am also a dad. Jill and I love our son, and we are so proud of the man he is today. So many families who have had loved ones battle addiction understand the feeling of pride, seeing someone you love come out the other side and be so strong and resilient in recovery. As I also said last week, I will accept the outcome of this case and will continue to respect the judicial process as Hunter considers an appeal. Jill and I will always be there for Hunter and the rest of our family with our love and support. Nothing will ever change that. As you all know by now, he was convicted of all three charges on yesterday. There is appeal that is coming forward. It's going to be ongoing, probably the appeal. We will know something in September. He could be sentenced up to 25 years in prison and will also face separate tax charges for the trial in September. So I wanted to make sure I put that out there. So the federal judge in Delaware has convicted President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Yeah, that's so interesting. Just pause right there. Everything I was reading, it was like conviction of President Biden's son. Well, his name is Hunter Biden. So why can't we say Hunter Biden has been convicted of a crime? There's that. This is on felony gun charges stemming from his purchase of a revolver in 2018 when he was addicted to crack cocaine. Now, the jury found Hunter Biden guilty on 2 counts of making false statements. However, his team and what they're going to do, good morning, Davey, and what they're going to do in their appeal is to say he had come out of rehab. And at that time, he was 11 days free. I see you, Kenny Stanley. Good morning to you. That he was free, that he did not have any drugs in his system. So that's just interesting. But this is what I say about that. I'm glad it is showing that they're fair and balanced so that the other people, Buttercup, cannot put something out there like, see, he got off. I'm sorry that he was convicted, but he got off. And the people were also on Instagram. Let me see what Dr. Antoinette says. He may have won votes from people who sympathize with him as a parent who's watching his son suffer. Okay, I see that, Dr. Antoinette. Thank you for sharing that. Um, it's just interesting because I was seeing different things on social media, different alerts yesterday about this. And people were saying, which I was like, I never thought about that. People were saying, how many people today who are legally carrying guns are snorting cocaine every day? Like, aren't they under the influence? Do they take a drug test when they go in there? And why this? Now that this is unfolding and I'm watching it more and more, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. I see you, Judy Neal. Good morning to you. I have a lot of questions. All right, so now I'm going to turn us to today's announcement with the feds. Y'all know I'm all into this, right? Y'all know I am. Because there's a connection. You then don't go anywhere. Hopefully you can hang out into the inspirational message. But y'all, today at 8:30, we'll have the CPI report. I had no idea that there was these reports almost every other week when it comes to finances and Wall Street, the stock market, investments, consumer price index, CPI, just all of these things. And then Chairman Powell, the federal chair of Federal Reserve, will also make his report at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And that will determine if there's going to be rate cuts. So today will be his announcement if he's going to actually cut rates. So all ears are like zoomed in, waiting to see. So you have a report at 8:30, and then you have a report at 2 p.m. But now they say the May report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showed the unemployment rate edged up to 4% for the first time in more than 2 years. Now that ended the best sub 4% run since the height of the U.S. military involvement in Vietnam. So I've been reading all this because it added 272,000 new jobs in May. But do y'all know the connection? Now, I read that report last week and said, great, we've been added 272,000 more jobs. But do y'all realize that that's not what the economy wants? I was like, so you want people not to work? Y'all, this to have an understanding of how all of these things connect to determine. So it's very likely that Chairman Powell will say, well, the economy's doing good. We've got 272,000 more people working, more jobs out there in May. So maybe we don't need to cut any rates. But it's hurting the people under a certain demographic. They're saying we need you to cut the rates because we can't survive in doing what it is that we're doing. So y'all, the back and forth, I'm speaking about myself at the moment. My expansion of understanding the news and the political connection as well as the political divide, it has grown significantly. And one thing I want to do is make sure I'm bringing all of that to you as well, because it's not just a character of the person. It's not just the gas prices that you see. It's not just the jobs and whether they're minimum wage or a different type of wage or salary. We talked about salary, how some companies are trying to make positions salary so they don't have to pay overtime. Y'all remember that a couple weeks ago when we were talking about that? All of this is a part of this big puzzle that we're trying to put all these puzzle pieces together. And it's like, what is really going on? So y'all start looking now before you begin this general election that we're already in. We've already, using Davia's word, we're already pivoting to that right now. So I got to go back to Project 2025. Kim Edmondson, I'm going to need you to type in the chat. Now, y'all can say that I'm just in my feelings. Y'all can. Y'all can really say that. But I'm trying to understand why at the 9th hour is it that everybody wants to talk about Project 2025 when it's been out there for over a year and News and Motion started talking about it a long time ago. Okay. We were bringing it. We put it in the Friday rundown. I was constantly telling you things when it started out being 489 pages. Now everybody wants to talk about it. And that's cool. I'm glad that they want to talk about it, but they want to just skirt over what's really in it and why and who and all that. So I'm going to put just a little piece of this in my segment today. So um, I don't know about you, but I kind of think it's a little too late. Like we gotta stop being late on what it is we're trying to get out there. Because now it sounds like it's just a spin and people are just putting things out there. No, y'all, this is real. The 2025 project is real. It started with the Heritage Foundation. The GOP is a part of the Heritage Foundation, and they're building out on it. This all started with book banning. Okay, hello, somebody. It started then. It started with everything that you're seeing taking place right now. That's where it started. All right, so you have the Far Right Project 2025 agenda, and what they're calling it is for the Donald Trump White House. Now, you have a group of House Democrats yesterday launched a task force to start fighting the proposal. Okay, let me see if I understand this. You knew this was out there. You work with them every day. Okay, you work with them every day. And you decided yesterday to launch a task force to talk about it. Your message should already be on Project 2025. Are you a little too late, maybe? Because now everybody's like, well, what is this? Who's going to read 1,000 pages today? Now, some of us will, but most people won't do that. So they're launching this task force to start fighting the proposal and to stop it from taking hold if the Republican former president returns to power. You're a little late. You're a little late. So, in addition to that, because I was like, why all of a sudden today? Like, why not a month ago? Well, that's because they found out that the former guy is expected to meet with a group of Republican senators and House members to discuss the plan. Did it? For governing the agenda, including the border security, economic policy, and for they are hoping retaking the White House. So y'all know I had to go get nosy a little bit more. I'm still trying to get this woman to join me tomorrow. I'm learning something new. People now want to get paid to be interviewed. And I'm like, okay, so what does it cost? Because we do have a little budget. And when this one person told me how much, I said, how much? What? For 15 minutes? It's like, okay, we can't afford it because we're not MSNBC. We're not the Today Show. We're not CNN. And there are some people who do not get paid, but there are people who get paid. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't afford you. So then I went to somebody else to see if they can come and talk about the 2025 project. People who are on the ground going through this and hearing the conversations. Like, come on. It's like, don't dismiss a news emotion because you're seeing the live views. Let's look at the numbers with the replay and let's look at the numbers of the audio. In addition to that, and y'all talk about y'all all the time, I said in addition to that, those people that you see live on News in Motion, their tribes are huge. So they will go and share the information with their circle. And if you want it out, don't dismiss someone like us. Marion Jackson says the task force should have started when the project was announced. I absolutely agree with you. Just like when the Republicans started talking about the 1619 project, as soon as they heard that, they took it and ran with it. As soon as the Democrats would have been open to hear Project 2025, they should have taken that, read it, and ran with it. Okay, so y'all, this is what we're talking about in the Project 2025. It is the vision for America. This is their vision for America. And again, book bans, abortion bans. The government controls our use of birth control and IVS, and discrimination based on race, sex, gender, or religion is accepted. And I'm going to get to religion in a moment. Hold on. And I'm a follower. Okay, so just hold on. I'm a follower of Jesus, not of the right-wing stuff. Let me make sure I'm clear about that. So somebody's going to try to cut and edit. Right, listen to the whole thing of what I just said. It attacks our fundamental freedoms and democratic principles, equal rights for all, free and fair elections. They're already trying to gerrymander the elections now. They're trying to change the maps. And I haven't even told y'all what's happening in Georgia. Y'all remember, was it about a month ago? I told you that they put the secretary estate off of the election board. I told you that in Georgia, right? And that won. They wanted to dismiss him, but he won his race because he stood up for what was right. So now they're trying to get rid of him. The Republican Party, I didn't jump to that because it's on my head. The Republican Party said that they will replace a Democrat who was stepping down from a board, that they will replace it with their Democrat. Well, what do you mean you're a Democrat? You talking about a Republican who just turned Democrat? So y'all can appoint that person to the board so that y'all can control it. They're talking about if they will certify the election or not. And they said it could take up to 3 months to certify an election out of Georgia. Y'all better pay attention. This is happening right now. And this is happening. I told y'all yesterday how Steve Bannon, through his War Room podcast, is strategically filling positions even on the lowest level. I went back to look at some of the positions, even janitorial positions, so they can hear the conversations when they're going into the offices of the Democrats. Y'all better pay attention to what they're doing. They're playing the long game. They're playing chess for real. Okay. Dr. Internet said, didn't the GOP used to have a stance of less government? Yes. But this document, and if y'all received the Friday rundown, I think I sent that maybe, I don't know, was it first of the year or so? I had a link for you all to read it. Let me keep going. Free and fair elections, representative government, separation of church and state, independent branches of government, freedom of speech and press, and more. So all of this is happening. Y'all, who's involved? The far right wing, they call it a think tank. The Heritage Foundation, which I've been telling y'all that. Y'all better, if you don't know who makes up the Heritage Foundation, Google is your friend. Google is your friend. At this point, you can ask AI, but AI, make sure you got the right information because they've been putting out misinformation and disinformation, but it could be a start for you. But just Google and the Heritage Foundation. Go to their website. Read their mission on their website. Go and look at, and I do this, y'all. Call me crazy, but I love research. I will go to each board member, click on their picture. I'll go Google their name, see who they are, find out their resume. I go to LinkedIn and check out who they are, seeing who they follow. I even go to their Facebook page because all of it's public because they're not hiding anything. They're doing this in our faces. Dr. Internet said Google is free. Google is free. So y'all want to check this out. But more than 100 co-sponsors who share an extreme conservative and white Christian nationalist vision for the future of America. Y'all, this is what's happening. This group created Project 2025 to serve as a blueprint for a future Trump administration. Many of Trump's former advisors and officials were involved in writing this up. Okay. And what I'm reading to you right now is coming from Red, Wine, and Blue. They did a summary of it, which I'm waiting for them to give me permission to share it in the Friday rundown so that you could have it. Kim Edmondson said freedom of speech and book banning is an oxymoron. I know, isn't it crazy? So y'all, that's what's happening. There are 4 pillars to this. This is what they're calling their playbook. It's a private database of far-right loyalists who work for Trump, even in his organization. And people are now saying, what's her name? Amber Rose. Wasn't she married to Kanye or something like that? Amber Rose came out because she supports Donald Trump now. Okay. And she says, Donald Trump is not writing Project 2025. He may not physically be sitting down at his computer typing out the words, but he has everything to do with this young lady. See, sometimes we can get so connected to something that we're not reading these things for ourselves. Donita says, you're probably right. They are not hiding who they are or what they stand for. Listen, they're not. It's scary. It's scary. And they're doing it right in our faces. I'm going to tell y'all why. I don't know if Latrice is on here or not, but Latrice and I have this conversation all the time. We don't read. And they know that. They're like, they're not reading this. They're not reading it. So we can go ahead and write it. We can put it on the website and they won't read it. And if you listen to Steve Bannon, which, it's hard to do, but sometimes I tune in just because I want to hear what he's saying. He says, that's why it's 1,000 pages. They're not going to read that. His quote, they believe we're not going to read. That's what they believe, that we're not going to read. And then the 4th, this 900 plus page, they call it a mandate for leadership. And if you're going to work whatever position, you have to sign this mandate for leadership. So y'all, that's what's out there. It's out there. So here are 5 steps I want to give you real quick to stay informed and engaged, because this is crucial. Subscribe to a reputable news source. Hello. Regularly follow, establish a credible news organization. Again, y'all know who they are. Just follow them. And then also listen to those that you may find difficult. I just told you I listen to Steve Biggin sometimes. I mean, and I listen because I want to know. It's hard at times. It's hard. Set news alerts to get the different news alerts. Yeah, mandate for leadership, Kim. Engage with multiple perspectives. Like here, consume news from a variety of sources, even if it's difficult to read. Just make sure you're fact checking it to see what they're saying. Follow expert analysis, follow the analysis, and join discussions. Join discussions. With that, Isaiah, if you would put up a poll worker video, if you can get that. Yeah, they're still looking for poll workers. Oh my God, election poll workers. They are looking for you all. Even last night in Cleveland, there was a special election in the Cleveland area last night for a seat. And I guess it was just, I don't know the hours of it, but they had to close half of the locations because they did not have workers to work, volunteers to work those areas. And they said, a lot of people did not vote because they had no idea where they were moved to, and they had no transportation to get them there. So y'all, this is real. So go ahead, Isaiah, you can play that.
Ready to help America vote? Working the polls on Election Day is a great way to strengthen our democracy right in your own community. Poll workers set up polling places, check in voters, and answer questions, and show us how to use voting machines. It's important. Any voter can file an application to become a poll worker, and most poll workers get paid. Because right now, America needs more election workers to volunteer. Learn more at helpamericavote.gov.
So there you go. There you go. We have to fill those positions. All right. So with that, Forbes is reporting that Justice Samuel Alito's wife, Martha Ann, was taped on a secret recording last week about her flag. So if y'all remember, I talked about this Lauren Windsor yesterday, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. It says she's a liberal, so it doesn't make sense. You have to keep looking. Well, it came out yesterday that she was taping them undercover. So you have to continue to follow the dots. So I wasn't giving up on that, which I ran into this particular article. So this was a part of it as well. And she says that the flag, this is Alito's wife, the flag appeals to heaven. And that's why she said, and something about the reason she turned it upside down, which I'm not real sure her logic to that, but that's what's happening. So she also criticized the LGBTQ pride flag, telling Lauren Windsor in this undercover interview that she wanted to put up a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at a pride flag for the entire month. So that's where they stand. And for this to be public knowledge and for this to be out there, Justice Roberts he has to bring this in. If he doesn't bring it in, then they're all a part of the problem. So y'all, this is the Supreme Court. So when we are voting for a president, we are voting for also Supreme Court justices, because the Senate then have what they call their testimonies, they review, they examine, and then they vote to see if they're putting them into that Supreme Court position or not. So that's what's out there. So I'm returning to what I was asking, because I want us to vet these sources. Here's just a few things to help you out. What is the source? You got to ask that question. What is the source? Who is the author? And then you're going to Google that author to see what have they written before. Have they had any scandals or pushback previously, and why? Are the claims supported by evidence? Y'all, these are the same rules I follow before I bring you anything. Every alert that I receive, and y'all know we're aggregated news, so I'm pulling stuff from different directions. I get thousands of alerts a day, and I'm pulling out what I believe our audience want to hear, needs to hear, and so forth. So I'm at are the claims supported? Is the content balanced and objective? Can the information be cross-checked? Can you find independent verification of key facts presented in the article? These are some things that I follow, and I'm going to put this list in the Friday rundown so that you have it as well. Y'all, it's not just listening to a soundbite or reading the headline. Listen, there's a lot of headlines out there. That's what they consider clickbait. It's just clicking you in. They want you to click in, and then they find out you started reading. Like, this article has nothing to do with the title. That's real. That's real. All right, y'all, before we get out of here, let me soften this up just a little bit. I don't know if this is really softened, though. Chiquita Brand, y'all know the banana. The banana company must pay $38.3 million to 16 family members. Yeah. Now, this is the part that's not so good. Well, they don't want to pay that either. And the 16 family members of people, they were killed during the Colombia's long civil war by a violent right-wing parliamentary group funded by the company Chiquita Brand. I was like, wow, I don't want any more bananas from them. They funded a right-wing parliamentary group. And so a federal jury in Florida made that decision on yesterday. I thought, wow, yesterday we were talking about Walmart and how they're overcharging you for packaged meat. They're saying that it's 4 pounds and you get home and it's only 2 pounds. Yeah, 38 million. 38 million. Should be 38 billion, right? So, but when I read this, immediately I thought about January 6th insurrection. It's like, who funded that? We know Jenny Thomas funded it, some of it, but who funded that and why? What's the point? What's the purpose? All this is connected. All of this is connected. All of it. All right, so let me get to the inspirational message. I'm trying to get y'all some inspiration somewhere in here. Let me get to the inspirational message, and hopefully this will help. As I talked about the CPI and the federal and all that coming out today, I take different classes because y'all know now I'm like all into options trading, investments, and stuff. And I want to learn. I want to know what all the connected dots. I want to learn. So I was on a webinar last night. Good morning, Hester. I was on a webinar last night. Hopefully this will bless y'all. And the webinar last night was called Trading Psychology, the psychology of trading. And it talks about the emotions behind it. And you have to have your emotions under control if you're trading. Because you could lose, you can gain, you can throw it all back away, everything. And he said something. The guy said something. I was like, man, this could preach in a minute. And what he said was, this is going to be an inspirational message. So what he says, Marion says, I'll be buying dull bananas. Listen, because I'm surely not buying Chiquita anymore. He said, and I thought, wow, this could preach. He said that he's just dumbfounded why traders, when they're green, won't take the profit. They'll stay in there. And he said, but then you have some traders who will sell immediately once it turns green. He goes, maybe they only gained an increase of $5 or $10 and they're selling. Like, let me take this and run with it. He said, but then a trader, if they are green and then they turn red, because it can happen in seconds, it can happen in a second, and they turn red, he said they'll hold on to it forever, like it's going to turn back. And he goes, yes, it's true that everything that goes down, you have your support, which I talked about before. You have the support that will bounce back, which is called a bounce or a gap fill. And it'll move up towards resistance until resistance knock it back down. Y'all, this is the whole thing is just phenomenal. Thank you, Kim Edmondson. But listen, I thought about that in life. When we're doing good, we're quick to say, well, it's not me. And we're quick to like slap down people who are congratulating us or people who are highlighting us. And we're like, oh, it's not me. It's you. God bless you. It's you. Go ahead and receive it. Okay. But when we're losing, we get comfortable losing. Like, I'm going to just stay here. Woe is me. I thought, wow, that can really preach. And what I want to suggest today, y'all know yesterday I talked about bless me indeed, that scripture. Bless me indeed, enlarge my territory, keep me from evil, may no harm come to me. Well, the same here. I also pray every morning, and it's in the Bible. I pray, Lord, show me success today. Allow me to be successful today. And if y'all remember, I'm real transparent here. I've had problems with that. And I told y'all about the fact that my own business coach said to me, "Go, give yourself permission to succeed." So I can pray it, but I got to give myself permission to succeed. And the other thing I can't do, you can't do, is sabotage your success because you're afraid of it for whatever reason. So there's a psychology to trading. So I thought, well, there's a trading psychology. There has to be a psychology to everyday life. And there is, but I'm talking about the biblical life, the biblical walk. If you're victorious, and we are, live in that victory. See, someone gave us some bad intel, telling us don't be boastful, need to be humble. And they misunderstood and they taught us away in a negative. That's not at all what it's saying there. We are victorious. And if we're victorious, then we represent Christ, who's also victorious. And he didn't walk around, woe is me. And so we shouldn't be walking around, woe is me either. We should live in that victory. So celebrate that. Don't quickly try to hush or run away or avoid the fact that you're victorious and successful. Say thank you and keep it moving. Yep, thank you. I'm doing real well. You got to share all your business, but say thank you. But when you're in a rough spot, don't keep sinking. Get out. Get out, whether that's asking someone to pray with you, asking someone to help you, asking someone to come alongside you. Y'all get out of that space. I used to say all the time, and it's in my book, Getting to the Root of It, isolation leads to secrets, and secrets can lead to spiritual death. Yeah. Actually, I said isolation leads to darkness, darkness leads to secrets, secrets leads to spiritual death. And I'm asking you all not to look at it that way. Go ahead and live the victory that God has already promised you. Don't be afraid of that at all. Don't be afraid of that. And my prayer today is that all of you are successful. Yesterday, my prayer was that I wanted the Lord to bless you indeed and to enlarge your territory and to keep you, may no harm or evil come to you. Today, I'm praying that you are all successful. That today will be a day of nothing but success. Miracles upon miracles upon miracles for you and for me, for all of us. And so hold on to that today. Hester says, what was that author of Trading in the Zone? I don't know. I'm in this thing called options, OOT. Only options trading. That's what I'm in. Marion, thank you for doing that. And then Hester says, yes, you have to train your mind. You have to. Deborah says, we have to have people around us who are for us and who can point out when we are in those dark spaces. Yes, Deborah, I agree. And Deborah Johnson says, great message. Y'all, we got to hold on. So all of you today, only look at the success. Only look at the success. And hold on to that. All right, y'all. That's all I have for today. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember to make some bold moves. We're out.
Motion.